I've been consistently fasting for over 16 months now. So if anybody tells you that fasting is a fad, that it cannot be a lifestyle, that it just comes and goes, let me be your shining example. This is Breakfast, a segment about how long I fasted before breaking, how much weight I've lost since my last fast, what foods I'm breaking it with, and how many calories I consumed, how long my eating window was, my weight after refeed, how I'm feeling, and what's next. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 41 of Breakfast. Today I am going to be completing my 8th 42 plus hour back-to-back fast. So since the beginning of 2021, I've adopted a new fasting protocol where I'm doing alternate day fasts that so far averages around a 45-hour fast, about a 2.5-hour refeed, and then a little more than a 5,500 caloric intake. In addition to all of this, I also incorporate quite a bit of cardio, quite a bit of physical activity. So on days that I am strength training, I still walk at least 3 miles a day. And then on my off days when I'm not lifting, I'm walking at least 5 miles a day. Today, for example, I walked, I think it was right around 6.5 miles. When I first started fasting, physical activity wasn't even part of what I was doing. In fact, it was just fasting. That was the only thing I was focusing on. But as time has passed, as I've been learning new things, exercise has been a pretty important part of what I do. And honestly, at this point in my life, it's something I really enjoy. Something I thought I'd never be able to say. But the reason I do these alternate day fasts and longer fasts in the past, the reason I perform a lot of physical activity is because of my eating. For me, I have a really tough time when it comes to my caloric intake. I tend to overeat. Tend is not the right word. I overeat. It's something that happens. For people who have watched my channel in the past, you have seen me refeed 6,000, 7,000, and usually behind the scenes, I can put a lot more down in a short amount of time. And so the combination of my longer fasts and physical activity allows me to eat a lot more calories during my refeeds. It is something that I'm trying to scale back. It's something where I'm trying to teach myself how to eat better. I know that is not perfect when it comes to me. I'm good at a lot of these other facets when it comes to fasting, when it comes to physical exercise. But now that I've added strength training into it as well, I feel like I am a lot hungrier than I normally have been. Really, all I'm trying to do is just balance things out, lose excess fat, build extra muscle, and be happy while doing it. With all that being said, let me show you what I broke my last fast with. Started off with a salad as usual. I did add extra cheese as usual, extra dressing as usual, and added croutons as well. As usual, 776 calories. And then I had Brussels sprouts. Yes, I know. I said I was done with Brussels sprouts, at least for now, but I did have cabbage and bacon on my last refeed, and it was actually very good. So thank you so much for the recommendations. Thank you actually everybody for leaving recommendations on a new vegetable and a new protein to eat. But I did have Brussels sprouts again. I did add olive oil for a total of 501 calories, but this time I didn't have Italian sausage. I ended up buying meatballs. I know it's doesn't make any sense. They don't go together, but I did have meatballs, and the ones I bought were like Italian style meatballs. And honestly, when I ate them, they tasted like Italian sausage. So much so that I could not finish all of them. Anyway, this totaled out to 770 calories. And then I had a banana for potassium, 92 calories. And then I had chicken strips, barbecue sauce, honey mustard for a total of 848 calories. And then dessert time, or at least pre-dessert, I had a protein bar, 300 calories, and then chips, salsa, guacamole for a total of 913 calories. And then I had pie, like I always do, pumpkin pie, whipped cream, but the problem here was I could not help myself. I ended up eating, I think, more than a half, probably 2/3, maybe close to 3/4. Anyway, the total for this was 1,766 calories, something I need to be a little more mindful about. Again, guys, I'm working on it. Anyway, the total caloric intake for the day was 5,966 calories. I ate all of this in 2 hours and 58 minutes. You would think with these big refeeds that my weight would start to trickle up, but in fact, it has just maintained itself. It dropped at the beginning of the month, but has steadily stayed at 140 pounds. I still don't know what number I really need to be at on the scale, but it's also something I'm trying not to worry about too much. For those that don't know, I am 5'3" and currently weigh at 140 pounds. So for people who think I might weigh too little, I could probably afford to even lose another 5 pounds or so. And with the strength training, adding the muscle on, I really don't know what that number on that scale is supposed to be. I am just going through like how I look with the pictures and how my clothes fit. I got to go with those non-scale victories over what the scale says and just use that scale at this point as a guide. The one thing I really want to do though is scale back on the calories. I think getting close to 6,000 calorie refeeds every other day, I think is just a bit too much for me. I think my sweet spot, at least for now, is to start scaling back, maybe get to 5,500. If I keep repeating these 6,000 calorie refeeds, I want to scale it back to around 5,500 and then eventually maybe get down to 5,000. My initial limit was 4,500 and I still want to stick there because maybe that's where I need to be. The one thing that I really haven't noted here is the fact that I am doing physical activity every single day. I want some rest days, at least once a week to take a rest day. And I know that if I continue these 6,000 calorie refeeds, I can't properly take a rest day without most likely gaining a little bit of weight or gaining a bit of extra excess fat. And that's what I don't want. I don't care if I gain muscle. I don't care if the scale goes up because I'm gaining muscle, but I don't want to be adding excess fat if I can help it. I think one of the hardest things for anybody who is trying to get on a fasting protocol is doing it consistently. I feel like the reason I can do this so consistently is, well, I do have the discipline when it comes to fasting, but I do it for the other things. I do it for the other rewards in this game of losing fat, is because I get to eat what I want. I don't have to track calories, even though I do. That's for transparency's sake at this point, but I'm not tracking macros. I don't have to eat X amount of carbs. I can eat whatever I want and still continue to lose weight or gain muscle, be satiated, and then do it again. But a lot of this is because I'm doing the things that I enjoy. I enjoy taking a casual walk. I enjoy eating what I want to eat. I enjoy lifting weights at the gym. And these are all things that took time for me to really realize. And that's why I always talk about finding your way, finding how many hours you should fast for. Find a comfortable spot for you. Find a sweet spot. You need to find what works for you. I think a lot of people are too obsessed with the numbers of fasting, always trying to put it in a 24-hour block. I'm going to do a 23-1 or a 46-2 or a 71-1. It doesn't have to be like that. I do 65-hour fasts or did 65-hour fasts. I did 90-hour fasts and nobody gave that number to me. That number was just something I put together with an X amount of refeeding window, like a 4-hour window or whatever, because it just fit my time frame. You need to figure out what fits your time frame. The reason I'm doing 42-hour fasts isn't because I read it in a book. It's because it's what works for me. It's what keeps me at this maintenance level. Sorry, I have such a hard time saying the word maintenance. Maintenance. I guess I'm doing it now. Anyway, if you're not good at consistently fasting or doing rolling fasts, meaning doing fasts back to back to back, then you need to really reconsider what you're doing and maybe try to adjust things, tweak things out. Just because you do a 72-hour fast doesn't mean you need to do another one again, and then another one, and then another one. It is something that works for me, and it's something I'm good at doing. But if you're doing a 72 or a 96, and then you plan to do another one, and that one is especially tough, maybe you don't need to do another 72 or a 96. Maybe you just need to do an OMAD for the day until you build your fasting muscle again, until you have that challenge in you to push a little further. Or if you're like me and you tend to overeat, then you need to learn either 1, to fast longer so that you can incorporate bigger refeeds, or 2, learn how to scale back when it comes to eating. That's something I am trying to work on right now. That is the hardest part in my journey, is limiting my calories, but still something I am trying to work on day after day after day. But I'm keeping all of the other facets in check. I know we all have bad days. I know we have shitty days. I know we have days where we don't want to do anything. It still happens to me. You guys have seen it. I have been very transparent about it. But I also know over this past year and 4 months or whatever, is I don't want to go back to where I was. I don't want to have high blood sugar. I don't want to have high blood pressure. I don't want to walk 50 steps up to my apartment and be out of breath. I don't ever want to have to shop for bigger clothes again. You don't always have to go all out. You can do this slow and steady race with me if you want. Show some accountability. It's one of the reasons that I honestly have been consistent for so long as well, is because I am so transparent with what I'm doing. This YouTube channel, the people who follow me, the community, that keeps me accountable. I should have taken a picture of it today, but earlier on my walk, I saw a sign, and I probably am going to butcher it, but it said something like, mistakes mean that you're at least trying. Really, that's all it takes, is that you keep trying, and then you try again, and that you show up, that you have some accountability. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know how your fasting journey, your weight loss journey, your fat loss journey is going. Whether it's good or it's bad, you're showing up, you're trying. That's all that matters. Patreon.com/finallyfasting for one-on-one coaching, for accountability check-in posts, and if you just want to support. Guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.